Derek Dorklord Morrison was what his roommates affectionately called him, though the affectionate part was debatable. At 22, he was a broke college senior with a crippling anime figure addiction and a bank account that screamed in agony every time he logged in. His dorm room looked like a shrine to magical girl anime, complete with limited edition figurines, posters covering every inch of wall space, and a body pillow he refused to discuss. So when the campus job board advertised for Santa's helpers at the Mega Mall downtown, paying $15 an hour plus tips, Derek didn't hesitate. He needed money for the new Starlight Princess Sakura figure dropping next month, and his dignity was a small price to pay. His first day on the job was exactly as humiliating as expected. The elf costume was too tight in all the wrong places, the hat had bells that jingled mockingly with every movement, and the kids were tiny agents of chaos who kept asking why he looked so tired. By his lunch break, Derek was ready to quit, go home, and accept his fate as a penniless otaku. He stumbled into the employee break room, which was surprisingly empty, and made a beeline for the fridge. There, sitting on the top shelf like a gift from the heavens, was a can of energy drink. It was unlabeled except for a handwritten note that said, "Property of Dr. Winters, do not touch." Derek, in his infinite wisdom and desperate need for caffeine, decided that handwritten warnings were merely suggestions. He cracked open the can and chugged the entire thing in one go. It tasted like peppermint, gingerbread, and what he could only describe as the color red. Almost immediately, Derek felt amazing. Energy coursed through his veins, his exhaustion vanished, and he felt like he could work a double shift and still have energy to binge an entire anime series. He bounded back to his station next to Santa's throne, ready to tackle the second half of his shift with renewed vigor. That's when he heard it. A group of carollers had set up near the food court, and their angelic voices rang out with the opening notes of jingle bells. Derek felt a sudden warmth in his chest and a tingling sensation that spread to his limbs, and before he could process what was happening, his body began to glow with pink and red sparkles. His elf costume exploded off his body in a burst of Christmas-colored light, revealing a transformation sequence that would make any magical girl anime look understated. Derek's body lifted into the air as ribbons of light wrapped around him, his form shifting and changing. His hair grew longer, turning a lustrous chestnut brown with streaks of white. His features softened and became decidedly feminine, and his body reshaped itself into curves that would make any anime character jealous. But that wasn't all. Antlers sprouted from his head, elegant and decorated with tiny bells and sparkly ornaments. A fluffy reindeer tail emerged from his lower back. His outfit transformed into an elaborate magical girl costume that was equal parts Santa's workshop and reindeer aesthetic, complete with a red and white miniskirt, thigh-high boots with bells, and a top that somehow combined a crop top with a festive sweater. The transformation lasted approximately 30 seconds and was accompanied by a theme song that only Derek could hear. When he finally landed back on the ground, striking a pose he didn't consciously choose, the carollers had finished their song and were staring at him with a mixture of awe and confusion. A little girl tugged on her mother's sleeve and whispered loudly, "Mommy, is that a new Disney princess?" Derek looked down at himself, at his new decidedly female body, at the antlers now sprouting from his head, at the magical girl reindeer outfit that left very little to the imagination, and did the only logical thing. He screamed. The scream was cut short when he tried to run back to the break room, and his antlers immediately got stuck in the doorframe. He yanked, pulled, twisted, and finally had to duck and shimmy his way through at an awkward angle while a crowd of shoppers pulled out their phones to record. In the break room, he found a small man in an elf costume, but this elf was different. He had actual pointed ears, wore tiny spectacles, and was frantically searching the fridge. "Where is it? Where is it?" the elf muttered, then looked up and saw Derek. His eyes widened. "Oh no. Oh no, no, no." You drank the serum, didn't you? Derek's voice came out higher, more melodic than before. What serum? That was an energy drink. Why do I look like this? Why do I have antlers? Why am I a girl? The elf, who introduced himself as Dr. Cornelius Winters, explained in increasingly panicked tones that he was a research scientist from the North Pole SR&D department. The serum was an experimental formula designed to create new reindeer for Santa's sleigh, but it had some unexpected side effects when tested on humans. Specifically, it caused a magical girl-style transformation into a reindeer hybrid form whenever Christmas music was played within a certain radius. How long does this last? Derek demanded, trying and failing to keep the panic out of his voice. Dr. Winters adjusted his glasses nervously. Well, the transformation reverses after about an hour, but the trigger remains permanent until we can synthesize an antidote, which could take several weeks, maybe months. Also, I should mention that each transformation makes the sequence longer and more elaborate. By transformation number 10, we're looking at a solid 2-minute sequence with full choreography. Derek felt his eye twitch. You're telling me that every time someone plays Christmas music, I'm going to turn into a magical girl reindeer? Magical girl reindeer hybrid, Dr. Winters corrected unhelpfully. There's a distinction. Also, your antlers will keep growing slightly with each transformation, so doorways are going to be an increasing challenge. As if on cue, the mall's PA system crackled to life and began playing Deck the Halls. Derek felt the tingling sensation start again. No, 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 he chanted, but it was too late. The transformation sequence activated, somehow even more elaborate than before. This time there were more sparkles, more ribbons, a dramatic wind that came from nowhere, and his antlers grew another inch. When it finished, he was once again stuck in a doorway, his new antlers wedged firmly in the frame. Dr. Winters winced. I should also mention that the transformations are somewhat addictive. Your brain is being flooded with endorphins during each sequence. You're going to start craving them. Derek finally worked himself free from the doorway, glared at the elf scientist, and made a decision. You're going to fix this? I don't care if you have to work around the clock. I am not spending my winter break as a magical girl reindeer who cut and fit through doors. Dr. Winters nodded quickly. Absolutely. I'll start working on the antidote immediately. In the meantime, maybe avoid places with Christmas music. Derek gestured wildly at their surroundings. We're in a mall. During Christmas season, there's Christmas music everywhere. As if the universe wanted to prove his point, a children's choir walked past the break room singing Silent Night. The transformation triggered again. This time, the sequence included a spinning aerial maneuver, and his costume gained more bells. His antlers were now festooned with tiny ornaments that jingled. A group of teenagers outside the break room had their phones out, already uploading to social media. By the end of his shift, Derek had transformed 6 times, gotten stuck in 4 different doorways, accidentally started a viral video trend, and had 3 talent scouts ask for his contact information. When he finally transformed back to normal for the last time that evening, Dr. Winters handed him a card. Until I finish the antidote, try to think of this as an opportunity. You're essentially a real-life magical girl now. That's every otaku's dream, right? Derek looked at the card, then looked down at his normal male body, then touched his head where the antlers had been. He thought about his magical girl figure collection at home. He thought about the transformation sequences. He thought about how, despite the humiliation and the doorway incidents, there had been a small part of him that felt absolutely incredible during those transformations. I hate that you're kind of right, Derek muttered. Somewhere in the distance, someone started humming Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.